So we are doing the final little touches, guys. We are right now today with you guys. I'm gonna sit here and we are going to put all the padding pieces into all the diaper covers. So we are going to do that real quick. So I'm gonna separate all the Oliva babies from the newer ones. We got all these newer inserts for the diapers. So we're gonna get all of these set up. And then we also have the bamboo, which have been our favorite ones. So we're going to separate all these out to get all of these put together with the new diapers. I'm pretty sure I am missing one of these ones. So I gotta go look. I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be 9 and I found 8. Just getting all the little flyaways off of these. We did all of these, washed all these yesterday, so that way everything is ready for the baby, all the new covers. We also got all the, these are reusable baby wipes. So we're gonna be eliminating using any of the store-bought like Pampers baby wipes or, you know, whatnot. We found that they work so much nicer. This one is not supposed to be, that's a burp cloth, because they work so much better using the reusable ones. So less rash, less irritation of the skin, all that kind of good stuff. And especially with where we live, it just makes it easier to have everything on hand versus having to order it or go pick it up, because that's quite a bit of a distance drive-wise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, there is 9 here. Never mind, they're right here. 8, and then 9. Okay. Got all of those. This is the other burp cloth. What are the burp cloths doing in here? So all the babies are what I'm missing. All right, and then these are for the new covers. So we have all these covers that we had purchased previously because Carlisle used a bunch of these. But these are the double ones, and we found these ones work really good when they're really little because it gives that extra bit of a guarded protection, so it's a double-legged one. So this ones might be the ones we go with in the beginning with her. And then we got her all the newer ones. So we got like the little cows and whatnot. So I'm gonna put all these guys, we're gonna separate these through. I love these little like elephants, stuff like that. So we're gonna grab all her brand spanking new ones, which are really, really cute. And we're gonna get all them sized, get the sizing set real quick. So let's go through all of this. So all of our doubles, we're gonna set off to the side. I think this is the one that we had, that I did the extra, yeah, we added the extra clips too. So good part is I have a kit so that if any of these are just too big for her, we can add extra snaps onto it to, you know, make an extra row of snaps on here. So I want to put all of the double thighs over there. Look at these little cute ones that we just got her. They're brand. You have your pocket to stick your thing inside of. So we're going to get all of these ready. I'm actually very happy that the new ones came with the double outer so that you can actually close these up shorter for the baby. So I'm really, really happy about that. That's a real promising point on some of these, because with some of our other ones that we ended up getting, they don't do that. And so I'm really, really happy about that with these ones. And then these were Carlisle's very first ever ones that we bought him, and they just weren't the best. So we're gonna put these ones off to the side. They'll be kind of like a backup for her. So she's got all of these. These are kind of like your last minute. So Celestine, hi, how are you? But yeah, we had a whole bunch from Carlisle, but then we bought Baby Girl brand new ones. So I think these are so cute. Look at these patterns. They're so cute. I wish they had had more of this style when Carlisle was born, but they just didn't. Didn't have very many of those. I know we have 2 more of those ones. Okay, these are inner thigh ones. Seriously, these little bumblebees and stuff are so, so cute, you guys. Then she's got like little Highland cows. Like honestly, so stinking cute. We're gonna get all these sized so that way they're ready for when she comes along. So this one does snap here. I knew it. I called it. I said it. I knew it. The water guy just showed up. Our water delivery. I said, watch, we're gonna put the baby down for a nap, which he is down for a nap, and they were gonna show up right after we laid the baby down. And the dog's gonna bark and everything else. So there's the orange one. So the green one and the purple one and the light blue one I have not been able to find. So we'll have to look again for those 3. But for now, I think she's got a really good amount of them. So look at these. Look at these cute little bunny rabbits. I don't go out there when he's doing the water. He can do the water. It's all already set up for him. Look at these little cows. Look at these. Are you playing Apex Legends? Nice. So got all of the little black and white diapies, which are super cute. And then the bumblebee ones. Oh my god, she is going to be the most cutest little fluffy little poof butt from these. And then we like these little creamed color yellow ones, but I'm gonna size these real quick. And then of course we have all of these ones. So I'm probably gonna use this one, these ones, and the newest ones. Like these ones are great for that. So let's look here. We got, these ones should be 11 of the brand new ones. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11. And then it should have these 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we got 10 of the inserts, and then it came with, of course, this came with 2 of these. We ended up with, because like we ordered the 10 diapers and there was an extra yellow in there. So it did come with 1 extra, as you can see. So we ended up with 2 identical pieces. So for now, we'll do that for the 10. We'll put this one to the side, and then we'll size these real quick and put these in. So because she's going to be brand spanking new, we're gonna take these. So you have the front of these diapers, which is really cute, right? And then you have this row here, right? So these here. So with newborns, you're gonna take this top row of the 3 and this bottom row, and you're gonna connect them together. So we're gonna do that with all of these. So we'll get all of these like this, and I'll just show you the first one here. So once you've got that done, right? So now it's taken all of that extra material to make the diaper quite tiny for when you have a brand spanking new little baby. So you have that little baby set up, and then you take it when baby is all in it, because she is going to be brand spanking new. We're gonna take it across here. We're gonna bring it at its smallest point, which is right in the center. Right, that should be 4 to that side, and then 4 to that side, yep. So we'll do those 2, and we bring this across, and then this comes across there. And that brings it to its tiniest little form, which is still gonna be quite bulky on the baby. But if we need to, I can always add another row on here. Get banned for 200. No, you can go ahead and go away. We're talking about my grandchildren. You can go find somewhere else to be stupid. But anyway, so that will be that, and then we can go ahead and add an extra line if we need to. But we found even with Carlisle, he was really tiny. We know that baby girl is going to be bigger. She's already bigger than he was at birth now, where she's at weight-wise. So that's what that's gonna look like. So let's get the insert put in. So there we go. And then you just take the insert and you open the back side of the diaper here, and you just stick these inside of here, which is quite nice actually. Coco, how are you? Or Choco, I always say your name wrong when I first start it. So we're gonna put this in here, right up to the front, and then this goes right over to the back. I'm gonna have all of these ready to go for her. It's going good. I mean, the baby's gonna be here very soon, so baby is probably coming a lot sooner than any of us expected. So let me pull that down just a little bit, just because we're getting a little bit of protrusion out the front there. We don't want that. Oh, come on thing, lay flat, lay flat, lay flat. Okay, there we go. Now it's in there. I'm not sure yet. Right now we're like in the home stretch with the baby coming, so we are a little bit, our hands are a little bit tight at the moment. So I'm doing this because I've got a little bit of time while the baby boy is napping, my grandson. So we do 1, 2, 3, 4 this way, this way, and then come on thing, just so that they're ready to go into the holder. Works out so much better when you do it like this. And voila, we got one little poofy diaper ready. So she'll be wearing these. So that's one little poofy butt ready to go. So we'll get these all set up and ready. I've got Carlisle's outfit right here. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this one we're gonna set to the side. But these ones, there we go. So first diaper ready. Let's do one of these little cute ones here. These ones, I like the way that these ones cross over. So these ones actually have, like I was saying with the other one, so this one has the 4 rows. You can't really tell on here. So it starts off here, right? So this one has like, this is your waistline pieces. We don't mess with the waistline pieces. But with this you have 1, 2, 3, and 4, which allows you to shrink this down for baby. I'm actually wondering, why is that one right there? What is that one for? I think that's for when you roll it up, when you're putting the diaper away. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, because those are your centers. And then that is your crossover. So we go right here. We're gonna put it at the tiniest setting for her, just because we want to be sure that we're at the smallest setup. Well, thank you. We're so excited for her to get here. We really are. All right, then we're gonna put another insert in. I figured I'd come on here, I would talk with you guys. We do get the baby's stuff ready, because, you know, we want to make sure everything is ready for this little bitty thing. So I don't think she's going to be itty bitty. We've already determined that she is a much bigger baby than the amount of weeks that Mama is. So she's definitely going to be a bigger baby. We're quite happy about that, though, of course, because, you know, all babies are precious and sweet, and especially when you've worked very hard to have that little person. We are not announcing her name right now. Sarah has said when she delivers her, that's when she'll announce the name. The only people that know her name are very, very, very close family and a couple of Sarah's like very close friends. Other than that, nobody else knows. And the only reason why some of those people got to know the baby's name was for the baby shower. A couple of items were made customized for the baby, so she gave that information to just a couple of people. So, and she made that very clear that nobody else is allowed to know the name. One, because it's a very unique name and it's very different. And nobody's going to guess it. That was the biggest thing too, was nobody was going to be able to guess this name, which was quite funny actually. So we even left it for people to try to figure out. Like we did a thing on Instagram and stuff like that. So no, because that's my name. So no, we wouldn't name her after me. So there we go. Oh my God, these little flippin' diapers are so stinking cute. I cannot with how cute these are. Okay, these ones are gonna go crisscross to here, right? We're gonna go here to here. We want it over that one. And then this will come back on top of that, right here to here. Come on. And right here. We can put that one right there and right there. Okay, that is a really cute little diaper. Look how tiny that one is. Little tiny legs. Oh my goodness, this one is so stinking cute. The little flowers with the bumblebees. Oh my goodness. I might have to go through these other diapers and add the extras on there just because I really, really like the way those extra little bits click together. Those are really cool. So, yeah, these are great. So we have the ones that are really, really cute. Those little small ones are like bumblebee ones, and they're so stinking cute. So I'll have to go through. I might actually go through here and put extra little pins, the little attachments on each one, so that way they can be a bit smaller, and then have that extra crossover. I like that extra crossover on those bumblebee ones. So yeah, see, she's got quite a few of these ones. We've got 4 different ones from the Bumblebee collection. Yeah, we did 4 of those. Let me get those ones done first because I really like those ones. This one's a cute cover too. I like this little cover. And Carlisle is potty trained, so he doesn't use these anymore, which was like perfect timing because he has now been potty trained for a little bit. And it's nice to know that like he's got that settled, and then we're doing all the rest of this for her. These are stinking cute. Like, I love these. These are really, really cute. So we're going all the way to 4. And then we're doing a fold over on the insert. So that works out really well. Those can go there. These are like my favorite inserts because these ones are bamboo and these really work. Like we did a whole test on these and it pulls the moisture completely away. Now we have not tested these ones, so these will be a true testament to whether or not, you know, when she's here and we try these ones out with her, whether or not these are gonna leak or not. We know that the other ones do not leak. We've used those with Carlisle for a while. The bamboo ones are really, really trustworthy from what we have discovered. So, can we get you to line up for a second? There we go. There we go. A lot of people, like we were talking with like family and stuff during her baby shower, and a lot of them were like, I don't know how you guys do it. I couldn't imagine like doing the whole cleanup and whatnot. And it's really not all that, like, they're really not that big of a deal for cleanup. As we have found, it's really just, you know, a matter of having all the stuff in the right places when you're going to get started and then go from there, because we have found they're super easy to maintain, super easy to keep cleaned up, and it's a really nice added thing to be able to just take care of the baby and not have to worry about whether or not anything's going to be a mess. You know, you have your bucket in the bathroom, you change baby, and then it goes into you rinse it out in the toilet and flush down whatever you need to flush down, and then you stick the covers, the whole thing, into the bucket to soak. And then that night before you go to bed, you throw everything into the wash and it's ready to go. We had that with Carlisle. We ended up where we used a little portable washing machine, and we would just throw everything in there at the end of the day. And then at the beginning of the day, you just rinse everything out, hang it out to dry, and bam, you're good to go. So it worked out really well. These are really, really cute. What do you say? So is Sarah having a girl? Yes. Yeah, little girl. So, wee little lady. Yeah, we actually put that like out there quite recently, actually. So she's got one of each now. So here, Earthside, I should say, because we do not discount her losses of her little one that she did deliver back in 2021. You're excited? Yeah, we're all so excited for her, and excited for this baby girl to get here, which is funny too, because as we've learned over the last couple of days that she's probably coming early. Yeah, Sarah has really come a long way. Hey, water guy is on the way out. I don't know if you guys can hear that. His timing sucks. He does it every time, and it's like, dude, every time. You come every time we put the baby down for a nap. Every damn time. And I always try to get it ordered for like in the morning. And he always shows up in the afternoon. So there's another little bitty tiny diaper. It's funny too, because I was looking at like actual newborn diapers, like when you get newborn diapers, and they're super tiny, like they're itty bitty, but they're such thin material, of course. So the funny part with when it comes to like these cloth diapers are very bulky, which I think a lot of people steer away from cloth diapers because of how bulky they are, and which is quite funny because they're just, to me, they're so stinking cute. It gives them a little rounded little booty, and their little clothes fill out better. She was having twins last night. Oh, wow. Twins is crazy work. Yeah, twins is crazy work. So that's a lot that's a lot to take on. So I think what we'll do is we'll get the extra legged ones set up, because I think those ones are they have that extra little part in the leg, which seems to, like, we found those work really good for Carlisle. But then again, he's a little skinny boy, so we're not sure like how chunky she's going to be and whether or not that might cause aggravation having that extra bit on her thigh. But I think she'll be okay. I think it'll be all right. So, and I try to give Sarah as much assistance and help as possible when it comes to like prepping stuff and just making her job as a mom a whole lot easier, so that she can put her focus in on the kids and I can put my focus in on, you know, giving her the ease, because I didn't have that when I had my kids. You know, I didn't have the people there to give me that backup and to give me that relief. And so I want to make sure that she never has to feel like she is completely all on her own in that. Oh my God, this one is seriously so stinking cute. Look at this. This is so cute. It's got the little bumblebees and the little daisies. Like, honestly, this diaper is so cute. Push that back up in there. But yeah, so these are really, really cute. So there's those first four, which are the tiniest. Like, you can put these as the tiniest setting. So we'll put those to the side. All right. And then we also have, like I said, we have these, which have the extra leg piece. I'm gonna go through here, but we're gonna finish the brand new ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of this style. So we'll take these 6, which have, like I said, they have the extra water barrier. So we'll do those 6 with these. Put those ones together right there. And then that gives us these to do with those. And then we'll do these guys. We've already got these guys measured out, which is going to be with the new pieces. And we still have Alva Baby, which is really nice. Alva Babies are nice. I'm not overly a fan of like them, but they're way better than the weird, like we ended up with some weird ones that were just the worst. So that gives her those. And we got the 1, 2, like we like this one. 1, let's do 1, 2, and 3 for those ones, for those 3. And then we've got Alva Baby, which is these 3. So we can do 2, 3 with the Alvas. That'll work. Everybody's got a thing other than these guys. These are kind of like the random okay backup. These are the like laziestly made ones because these only have just the attachment at the top. We found these things leaked so bad with Carlisle. They're also microfiber on the inside, which ended up causing them to just, she's still doing, no, she's kind of taking a step back from those ones. Hi, Jessie. So we found that these ones, because they have this microfiber in here, this started absorbing, this would absorb his urine before it wouldn't even get into the padding. Whereas these are not microfiber. They're like this easy cloth, and then this has a water barrier. Where these do not. These are not a water barrier. This is like some weird, well not, we found that as soon as you get these wet, it came right through. So these are just gonna be kind of like a backup in case like, hey, we've run out of diapers. She's had kind of a blowout day. We can use these in the time to, you know, run through these while we wash the other diapers. So that's what we'll call that. And those came with these, which we use as burp cloths because they're so thin. They have nothing to them and they don't absorb very well. So, but we do have these. So we can use these and get these made for her. Yep, go this way. And put these guys in. So, like I said, I'm probably going to go through this. I probably need to order some more of the little white snaps, but I think I'm going to put some new snaps on all of these to allow for us to put these as small as the honeybee ones, because the bumblebee honeybee ones are so stinking cute. I'm doing great. So, like I said, she is not doing dolls right now. Like I said, she is right at the end. Like she's we're at the finish line right now with the baby, and she can come at any time right now. You watch some of the older videos, yeah. So I was watching some of our older videos yesterday, which was quite nice. I always forget to, like when I go and look back, I look at my babies, and my kids are now, you know, adults. I mean, Taylor's 26 years old. It's so crazy to me to look at those videos and be like, he is grown. Like, he is a grown man. He's not that little itty bitty little Taylor anymore. And it's so crazy to me to look at those videos and remember that my kids were just the tiniest little humans, which I love, by the way. I love that. They were such sweet kids. So these are it's these 2 in the center, right here, and then we take that and we clip it right there, and then that clips there, and then we come across and we do that. This one is literally so stinking cute. And that can come up above the belly slightly. We'll get all this adjusted for it. Look at this little cow butt. Like, seriously? It's so stinking cute. Yeah, Taylor and Sarah are 2 of the best humans. I don't care what anybody else in this world says. I literally raised 2 amazing human beings. he lives out in Nevada and working his butt off. And then I've got, you know, Sarah, who lives here with me, with Carlisle, and she busts her butt as a mom, even after breaking her ankle quite badly and still having to go through all of the recovery stuff from that. That has been one of the craziest things I think I've ever witnessed in my life, is her going through the recovery of shattering her ankle. Yeah, has not been any kind of fun in that sense, because that was a hard road right there. So, oop, that did not snap together correctly. There we go. Oh my goodness. Look at these little bunny butt. The little bunnies. That was something else we were thinking about doing here on the farm, was adding meat rabbits, but I don't think Sarah would handle that very well. She loves rabbits, and I don't know how she would handle the thought of having rabbit as a food source. For me, I've had it multiple times. It's really good. I actually really enjoy rabbit, but also chickens are harder to raise versus the rabbits are so much faster and easier to raise than chickens, and you get a turnaround or a process time that is way faster and way easier. Yeah, so it's like, I thought about it, and it would work out really well out here because they grow so easy out here, and they thrive pretty well out here. But I don't want to do anything that's going to cause her any kind of like distress. And for her, she really, really, really loves rabbits, and so I'm like, I can't see doing that to her, and I don't see her continuing that, you know, when I'm gone. So it would not be. It wouldn't be, you know, one of those things that would work out too well here. So we're gonna not do that. But the chickens, I can see her doing the processing with the birds and having help and stuff like that if she continued to stay here after I was gone. Look at these little Highland cows. Like, the little Highland cows are so cute. But one thing she wants is ducks. And I'll tell you guys what, we had ducks in the incubator. We put duck eggs in the incubator beginning of August. So they would have been hatched on the, no, we put them at the end of August. So August 29th, we had put them in. They would have hatched at the end of this month. And that would have given her a couple weeks anyway with the brand new baby ducks before little one arrives. But however, all of them were duds. Like, every last one of them was a dud. None of them were fertilized. We left them in the incubator for 10 days, and we checked and checked. And usually by day 7, you should definitely see something growing. And there was nothing. They were just crystal clear. And so I was like, I'm going to take one of them. We're going to crack it open and see if there's even any fertilization. So we cracked open the eggs, and we looked for the bullseye on the egg white, or on the egg yolk, and none. So they hadn't even been fertilized. The Drake just didn't do his job with the ladies, and so that, or the ladies just don't like him, and therefore the fertilization didn't happen. So we were like, well, there's that. So that didn't happen. So now we're waiting for a new collection of eggs to get here. And then we will hold off on putting them on the incubator until, I think we're going to do a 10-day hold, and then we'll put them in the incubator. And I have everything set up in there for the 10-day hold. So that way the timing will hopefully line up, and that little one will already be here by the time they hatch. Because once they hatch, they require quite a significant amount of care the first couple of weeks. And so it's going to take a lot of like my individual time with them when they first hatch. So we don't want to interfere in that. So look at this one. Look at this one. It's so cute. And seeing as she is a little rainbow baby, it works out really nice. She is having a little girl. We already announced it. So we already talked about it, and she announced it out to everybody at her baby shower. So she did a whole gender reveal at her baby shower. Only a few people knew what baby was and what baby's name is, because there was some customized gifts that were being made by several people that were only really close friends and family. And so the people at the baby shower now know baby girl's name, but those are all people that Sarah trusted and whatnot with the name, and not that they're not going to go out there and put the name out to everybody. So her name is still under wraps when it comes to social media in any way. She's not announced it to Facebook or any of that kind of stuff. Only the people that were at the baby shower know, because they were there for the gender reveal and her name. And I'm honoring her wishes in that, so that way nobody is going to know her name until Sarah is ready to announce it. She's already said that once she's here and whatnot, then she will announce her name once she has arrived. So, oh, this is so stinking cute. I like this, like, just plain cream colored diaper. It's really, really cute. All right, so we've got these ones. And then we'll do these ones real quick, because these ones are all that same style. So we try to get people to like guess what they thought her name might be, or what they like, give a name and a and by doing the name, they would, like, you know, whether it was a boy, like, tell us what your guess was, boy or girl, by giving us a name. And everybody, like, nobody even came close to her name. So, which was quite funny. We're gonna do the yellow one and this yellow one. So, but yeah, we thought it was quite funny. Nobody even came close to guessing her name. My aunt was probably the only person who, one, knows Sarah's favorite show, and I think it's just because they both have the same liking of the same show. So I think that's where it benefited my aunt in that sense, because they both have like a very, very liking for the same show. And then my aunt was able to kind of figure out the name. She was the first one and probably the only one who figured it out, and it was quite funny because, like I said, my auntie is like one of the best people, and so her and Sarah like quite a few of the same type of things, and so it was an easier guess for her to figure out. So we got a kick out of the fact that she was the only person who actually got the name correct, and it was quite funny. Yeah, I like these bamboo inserts. The bamboo inserts just set correctly inside of these cloth diapers so well. But get all these done and then take them into Sarah, and she's gonna be like, oh my God. Because, like, we got her nursery put together the other day. We haven't finished it. Like, I've got to still go in and do the painting of all the stuff that we're putting on the walls. But I still need to do that. But other than that, we finally got the crib in there. The crib still needs to be painted. She won't be using her crib for a while. She's in a room in with mommy, of course, for at least the first 6 months while Sarah's nursing through the night. We have to get her crib painted. Oh, this one does have the 4. Haha, you get to go with the other set. Okay. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. I didn't realize this one had the 4. I'm so happy about that. Because this one I ordered separate and individual because we love the Highland cows on it. So we ended up ordering this one because it was so stinking cute. But hey, look at that. We'll put that one over there with the bumblebees because she can wear this one right away. Maria? Yeah, love this little lady. She's the best. Let's see here. Let's get that inside first. That allows me to spread that out and up. Get up there. Okay, and then the fold. See, that's why I like these bamboo ones. They just sit right. Love these things. There we go. And then pull it back this way. And then you take that there with that. And then under. Oh, wrong way. Gotta do the opposite side first. This one is the backwards one. Okay. Goes like this. And then it goes on this side to this side. To this side. Then this comes over and goes on that, to that, to that. Look at this little Highland cow one. Oh my God. Look, it's got a perfect little cow right on the booty. Boop. These cows are so, they got all the different cows on it. So those are the ones that we should have just ordered a bunch of those ones. That would have been perfect. That's okay though. It's okay though. But we'll get a bunch of these ones. I can go back through and add an extra row on them. That should help out. So I just got to go through and go through and see if I have enough white tabs. I'd like to get all her newest diapers, put extra tabs on those ones, because I think that would fit better for her if we did that. Just because, you know, babies are tiny when they first come out, like super tiny. They're tinier than you would imagine. Yeah, we're praying for all of that to go good. She did such a fantastic job during Bubby's delivery, so we're just hoping that everything goes good. We're pretty sure she's going to have the baby on the earlier side, just because baby is so big and measuring so far ahead of things. So yeah, baby is definitely bigger than any of us thought, because, whoa, we were like, yo, girl. All right, we got little elephants. Look at that, little baby elephants. They're so stinking cute. All right, those ones we'll do after. Let's put these with the Alvas. Sorry, guys. What in the world was that? Sorry, guys. What in the world was that? That was somebody trying to call my phone. That's like, you know, those scam things. But anyway, as I was trying to say, we got these ones which have like this extra thigh piece. I don't know how well she'll tolerate these ones, but we'll give it a try. I know one of these, I think it was this one. Yeah, this one where I had to add the row on it because it didn't have it. And we had to add the extra piece on it because it just didn't have it. And so, yeah, one of these I added the bottom piece on. I'm trying to look for the one that I did that with. Was it this one? No, it was this one. It was this one. Because it didn't have the extra row of things. Yeah, because these ones are the different color. I was like, they're not even the same color white. But we're gonna put these ones as a way too. So I wanted to add the extra row on these, but these ones are quite small even without adding the extra row. So we'll see how it works out when I do the attachment on them. But for right now, let's finish these guys. These ones are really cute too. So, ow. And I hate when the things call like that right in the middle of you like doing something and you're just like, why did you do that? So I don't know how well these ones will absorb. I know that we didn't like the way that the water kind of doesn't, or we did like a water test with these, like where we took the same amount from each one and we tested each one with like how much fluid they would hold before it started to leak out. And all of them, like the, whatever you call it, the bamboo ones did fantastic, but all the rest of the ones that we tested held for like just a few, and then within minutes started leaking out of the diaper. And it was like, really? So I know that at nighttime, you have to, one of two things, either double up your padding when they go to bed, or just put on a disposable at night, which we don't want to do. We ended up resorting to disposables at night with Carlisle because it would just leak everywhere. So we had to, once we finally got the newer inserts, we didn't have that problem anymore. But the Alva Baby inserts were just so bad, they just would leak everywhere. So there we go. They're really cute though. Yeah, so we would add the extra piece. Crash just went live. I'll be there in a little bit. I'll come hang out. But these ones are really cute. I like the color of these. So, but it's a good thing to give each one, you know, its fair shot or whatnot. So we'll keep on going. And I just put these together. But yeah, these are, like I said, these are the Alva Babies inserts. Like I said, I have not, like, they're not bad, but they're one of those kinds where don't put these ones in their diaper if you're going to be leaving the house or overnight. And there's no overnight with the newborn anyway. So when she gets up to feed and whatnot, I told Sarah I will make sure that I get up with her when she has to feed. So that way, once she finishes feeding baby, she can get her pumps all set up, whatnot, and then I can change her diapers and stuff like that. So Sarah can get, you know, the quicker she can get things done in the middle of the night and get back to sleep, the better. So if you know somebody in your life that, you know, is brand new mama or whatnot, even I know that a lot of times, depending on, you know, partner being asleep or whatnot, they should definitely be contributing through, even though they don't feel like they can do much, they can. Just being able to give mom that little bit of relief, like after she's done nursing, like letting somebody else burp baby and change baby's diaper, stuff like that is such a huge help. It really is. It's a very big advantage to being able to get stuff done quickly and put baby back to sleep. And it allows mom to get better rest and to feel more, you know, energized and fortified in the morning. So I want to make sure that she has, you know, that extra set of hands at night. I do fine with little sleep. So like, that's just because I'm an insomniac anyway, and I struggle with sleep to begin with. So it's not like I'm losing anything by getting up and helping her. So she's a really good mama. Carlisle is such a good little dude and whatnot, and that's attributed to her mommying him, and she's tough with him too. Like, she doesn't let him just get away with stuff if he, you know, he's a toddler. He's a little boy and he's 3.5 years old. So he's at that age, and we just started doing preschooling with him, which is of course I'm the one monitoring and doing the schoolwork with him. So I'm pretty much his homeschool teacher. And he's doing fantastic, as a matter of fact. So we're going to keep that route up, you know, because he's done so good. But I have all his, like, school stuff here. We're actually getting the classroom finished because we're using the one room as the classroom setting, which will allow for easier time so that when he goes in there, that's classroom. On class days, when it's time for class, it's time for class. And then classroom is off limits once the school day is done. So this way, the rest of the house, you know, his room, his area that he plays and stuff like that is for him to play and whatnot, and then the classroom is the classroom. This way there's two separate divided spaces and whatnot. So, and he's a smart little cookie too. So all right, now let's get these guys. So we're gonna start with this one, because this is the one, like I said, I had to go through and do this one because it did not have the extra pieces, which was kind of weird when we got it. I was like, these ones are the shortest ones. Like, they have the extra inner piece on the leg, but then they didn't have the extra piece on the snappage here. So it was kind of an annoyance when we first got him, because I was like, well, how are you supposed to snap that and keep it tight against his little thighs? But once I added the extra pieces on, then voila, it was great. So let's get that on there. It always makes me laugh when you do this, because that inner extra piece made it quite an endeavor to get this together. So we go right there. Once that's there, then you can get it up to the top. Don't scrunch. We're not scrunching right now. We're gonna fold at the front, pull, and then tuck. Yeah, I'm glad that I added that, because these would not have worked like that had I not. But yeah, these ones are definitely the shortest body portion on it, so that's cool. And then, like I said, it does have that extra piece for the leg to hold in any moisture, which is great. So these ones are nice and tiny too, as you can see. This piece, of course, folds down. They have the tiny little waist, so these ones are really quite nice. They're just, yeah, they're a bit tougher to fold up than the other ones, because they have that extra seam. So I love this one. I think this little pattern is really pretty. It's really cute. And then I gotta do pictures for Sarah, hopefully tomorrow or the next day. We're gonna try to figure out a good spot to go do maternity shoot for her, because we need to get that done. We've done pictures throughout this pregnancy, of course, just like we did with Carlisle, but we want to do like some really good ones before baby is out. And this little lady is a good sized baby, so she's already bigger in her belly and rounder in her belly than she was with Carlisle, like big time. And that's just because Carlisle was so tiny. He was born, well, he was long, but tiny. Whereas this little lady she's a big girl. So. It was funny too, because like the doctor that she had for Carlisle, he thought Carlisle was gonna be big. And we were just like, we don't feel that. But like he didn't have a lot of like noticeable movement in her. Like with this one, oh my God, with the baby girl, holy cow. This baby is a wiggly baby and whatnot. So look at this little baby. So this little one, very, 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 very active. We laid last night watching her just move all over the place. And then Carlisle has a nickname for her already, and it's like, it's part of her name, but like he can't say her whole name. So he's kind of shortened it, and it is the cutest thing. And so that's just kind of what we call her now. Yeah, he was super tiny. Like Carlisle was so tiny. He was long. He was really long, but he was just the tiniest little thing. And it's so funny when we look back at pictures of him and we're just like, he was such a little bean. Like even now we get a giggle out of how tiny he still is. Like he's tall, like he's over half my height already. So he's tall, but he's just like this little compact thing. So like he'll curl up and he just kind of disappears into you. He's just so itty bitty. And it's so funny to us that he's so tiny. And people always say something, he's super tall when they see him. And then like I can carry him in a toddler carrier. Like we have one made specifically for toddlers. And he just kind of disappears. He's just this little bitty thing. So this one's got the cute little clouds. All right, X's and O's. I love that. I love that. I just love that we're able to do stuff like this, to where we can cloth diaper and stuff like that and give her that ease of not having to worry about the cost of diapers and stuff like that, because I remember when I had Sarah, but Taylor was a regular, disposable diapers baby, because he was so sick and in and out of the hospital all the time that it was just impossible to do cloth diapering. But with Sarah, I did cloth diapering, and it was such a huge save on the pocketbook, when it came to, taking care of the diapers and whatnot. So I was like, I had the time, and the patience to deal with it. I don't get squeamish, so blowouts and cleaning up baby poo, it doesn't bother me. I know for some people it's like they can't stomach the thought of cleaning up poopy diapers. But for me, it was never an issue. So I've never had like, stomach discomfort from stuff like that. So I don't mind helping her out. So when I had Sarah, I used cloth diapers for Sarah. And then when we would go out and do things, like, so if we needed to go like a shopping trip or whatever, we'd use a disposable, which just makes it easier for, while you're out. But I learned tricks and stuff over time and how to travel outside the house, with little ones with cloth diapers. Big thing being, have the cloth diapers like I'm doing right now, already pre-set up. So sit down at night after babies go to bed and do what I'm doing right now. Get your diapers prepped and ready and folded up together and put them in your diaper bag like you would any other regular diaper. I mean, like literally you can grab 4 of those, stack them together, stick them in your diaper bag. If you want to, take them and put them in like a Ziploc bag and then suck all the air out of the bag with a vacuum, and get these as flat as possible and stick them in your bag. You can do that. It's not worth it. Just put them in the bag and put your, like with these, we're going to be doing the baby wipes, so reusables. So you have a Ziploc bag with you, empty Ziploc bag. Put these in your little case that you're going to carry these in, these are already prepped. So you get them all nice and wet and prepped and whatnot, fold them up just like you would any other diaper, right? Or any other wipe. So you can fold them up small like this. And I found that I liked when Sarah was really little, I would take them and I would fold it like this. And then you would take one side open and you'd put the next one in. And you'd fold this back over, and then you'd fold this one, and then you'd take another one, right? Oops, there's 2 stuck here. And you would put it on there, and then you fold that back over, and then you just do this repeatedly while they're wet. And then this way, when you're gonna take them out of the bag, you just do this, and it pulls the next one already up and ready through the little opening, just like you would with regular baby wipes. So these all need to be, of course, prepped. We've got, I think, 150, which is plenty. There's enough there to last like a whole week. But you just do the same thing with these. Once baby is all wiped and clean, you put it in the bucket with all the thingies. And at the end of the day, you take all these out. You take them out, throw the whole bucket of stuff into the washer and rinse your bucket out. Always rinse your bucket out down into the toilet, not into your bathtub, your toilet, because your bathtub is like, especially if you're RVing, I should say, this is definitely geared towards more RV style. You want it to go through your toilet because it goes into black water. And then if you're doing, like, if you dumped it into your sink area or into your bathtub, that's gray water, not the same system. So you don't want to do that. But with a house, I would just suggest dumping the bucket into your toilet, letting it flush, and then rinsing it out and restocking it in your shower, or bathtub, whichever. It's easier because it's going to be a 5-gallon bucket that's going to hold these throughout the day, as they get used. Now, when you're out with your diaper bag, you're going to have what I call a waterproof wash bag. So you just put that waterproof wash bag in your diaper bag. And this way, when you change baby while you're out, you leave this completely intact together. Don't pull it apart, until you're at home. But stick the whole thing, poop and all, close the diaper up like you would any regular diaper. Just close it up You know, wrap it up, close it up, stick it into the wash bag. Zip, like seal it, because you don't want the smell and stuff. As soon as you get home, this goes over, you open it, right? Because it's going to have the stuff in it. You're going to turn it inside out over the toilet. So over, and then you're going to dunk it in the toilet. Flush said toilet. Keep, you know, in the swirling water. And then take said thing, right? Let it down. Reach in. While it's, you know, over the bath thing, and pull it apart and drop it into your bucket. Now, you can do 2 buckets if you want, which I did when Sarah was little. I took the insert and dropped it in one bucket, and then this piece in another bucket, because usually this is the piece that has like the actual like poop on it. And you can only get so much off. And then this way, this piece gets sat in a different bucket, and it doesn't need water in that bucket. Because this is already going to be like wet from pee or whatever. Stick it in the other bucket and it'll dry out. Then you can throw them all into the wash together at the end of the day. But this will be able to soak and get a lot of the stuff out of the fiber before you put it in the wash machine. So that's what we've always done, and it just makes the process so much easier. Yeah, the XOs, the X and O's is really, really cute. Oh, my hair, quit it. That's annoying. So put this back together. But yeah, so these have been like the best ones that we have found. Like I said, I love the bamboo inserts. We're probably going to order more bamboo inserts just because I think it'd be a good idea. They seem to work the best, so I would like her to have the best inserts on baby girl, so that way she doesn't have to worry about leakage and stuff. But yeah, and like I said, I really like the ones that have that extra piece in them. I might actually take and buy some material, some waterproofing material, and make insert like extra thigh pieces. But it's not necessary. We didn't have any real issues with these other ones leaking once we upgraded to the bamboo inserts. It was those other ones that are like microfiber cloth diaper that leaked really bad. We didn't know they were going to do that. That like the baby peed and it would soak into the microfiber instead of going through and into the inserts. So we even tried putting the bamboo inserts with the microfiber diaper, and it just doesn't work. It just, the water just gets all into the actual microfiber and just spreads instead of going in and soaking down into the diaper. So I really like this one too. This one's cute. Come on, snap together. But yeah, so she has got a significant amount of diapers ready to go, enough anyway for 2 days worth or a day and a night worth, because babies go through about 10 diapers a day on a solid day. So, but yeah, so she's got this one too. So these are all really, really cute. Everything is put together and ready to go for baby. And that is awesome. So she got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. She got 22 diapers here. And then 4 backups, 5 backups, 5. And then I think she has 6, 7. So 7 backups. No, the green one actually got destroyed. So 6 backups if need be. I don't think we would need them. They, like I said, these just really don't work. They are microfiber on the inside, and then they're this other material on the outside. It says it's supposed to be waterproofed, but then when you turn it inside out, it has this weird plastic that as soon as you get this wet, it goes right through this. And I'm like, how is that? Like, this just, it doesn't stop anything. And we also found that because the way they sewed this, see how that just, it's not, I don't know why that does that. Anyway, Sarah has just Carlisle, and then baby girl that's coming out. She also has several that she lost, ones that were visible that she was able to hold in her hand was two little ones, Penelope and Oakley. So we were able to physically see them. They were big enough and far enough along that she had a physical, like, little baby. The rest of them were very early losses. So finding out she's pregnant, getting the numbers back and realizing the numbers were super, super low and that they were just not going to be viable. And so she's had quite a significant amount of losses. But this little one right now, this little girl, is here after multiple losses. So the amount of attempts, this was like Sarah had said, like when she did this transfer with this baby, that if this didn't work, she was done. She was done putting herself through the heartache and the trying with no success. So this little girl is so wanted, worked at very hard to get here, and took over 2 years of trying, because Sarah wanted to try when Carlisle was a year and a half, and wanted to start trying because she knew it would take time. She didn't know it was going to take that much time, but she knew it was going to take time. And yeah, so she's got, we always, like I said, I carry Penelope's ashes right here. So because Penelope was big enough, far enough along that we were able to get her cremated. And then Oakley was just too small that we weren't able to do that same thing. They just didn't have enough material to do so. But with Penelope, she was significantly larger, further along than he was. So the loss of Penelope was very difficult, especially on Sarah and the rest of us. So, but, you know, Carlisle is here because of their losses, and being able to track what happened made it so that when she did go for the next attempt to get pregnant with Carlisle, the doctor was well aware at that point where the problem was lying at, and he was able to give her the right medication. But the other ones were where she got everything that she was supposed to get, but the numbers were just so low. And just wasn't, her body just was not making enough of the proper hormones to keep baby in. And so, you know, those losses happened. But with this little one, she had a jump start on getting a few things done, and her other doctor had already moved away. So we kind of ran into a hiccup in the road and had a very big scare right at the start, and thought we're not going to be able, this one's not going to work either, because numbers were not as low as all the other ones were, but we're starting to see that same trend happening. And we were like, we need to get a different doctor. This other doctor was not listening, was not even acknowledging what she was trying to say, even brought her actual records to show the trend in what was going on. And that, you know, with everything that she put in money-wise to get to that point, it was like, come on. And so because he wasn't listening, we ended up going to a high-risk doctor that was at her previous office, the previous doctor's office. And he immediately, without even seeing her, looked through her record with their office and was like, we'll take you back on as a patient. And he called in immediately the prescription she needed. And we had it that same night. And so, yeah, she's blessed in so many ways in having, you know, the right kind of people around her to assist her in getting those things taken care of. So one of my biggest things is always be ready to self-advocate. And Sarah has a hard time with trusting and talking to people. So when it comes down to it, I'm usually always the one that advocates for her. She tells me what she's looking to get done, and I take everything she's given me and I put that forward to the doctors, to, you know, people that she's, you know, doing any kind of work with, whatnot. I'm the one that will speak for her on her behalf, because she has a really hard time articulating to people. She's getting better. She's getting so much better about it. And I give her giving her more tools, and I help her prior to going into things to talk with her, and so she can find her words and use them. Because with her being a mom now with 2 little ones, want her to be able to be more ready to self-advocate as well as advocate for them. So I think in finding the strength to advocate for Carlisle and the baby, that helps her. And so when it comes to her son, she is very on top of advocating for him and speaks out and says stuff. And so I think with that, she's gaining more and more confidence in speaking for herself. And so that's kind of the thing that we're on and the road that we're tracking on. So I need to go put these up in her room. These are her new curtains for her room. I've got Carlisle's outfit for later on because he's getting so big. Look at this. Look at this cute little shirt. Look at this. It's got puppies. Brand new shirt, of course. Funny part is 3T shirt, right? He's wearing 3T because he's so long, but his pants are in 18 months because he's so tiny and like his size. So he wears like 18 month shorts and a 3T shirt because he's so tall. And then this is for the next couple of months because it's cold out, but he likes excavators. So we got him an excavator and he's super happy about it. He loves it. So he's so happy. He's like, it's an excavator. So look how cute that is. The scoop, scoop, scooping. And then, like I said, we got to get all of these prepped. These are all the baby wipes. So we are going to get these prepped. It allows you to put on them what you want on them so that your baby, especially if your baby has sensitive skin, you can actually get these done with like a lotion or like Aquaphor. The Aquaphor works really good when you add it to these to help like clean the baby's bottom, but also like moisturize at the same time. And then you just throw these in the wash with everything else like you do everything else. So we'll get those ready. I've got the little tub thing that we're gonna put them in, and it has like a little flip top that you can pull them out of. So we're gonna get that ready. I took these curtains apart the other day. And then we did this the other day. Like this was Carlisle's when he was little. And we, of course, because we take care of everything that he's ever had, I got it all cleaned up. We put everything together. The little bottom there turns into like a tabletop. But for now, because it's going to be ready for her. So it's got all the toys in place. Jay was out here the other day and he's like, that looks brand spanking new. And I was like, yeah, this was Carlisle's. We have so many pictures of him playing in this thing. This one right here, this toy right here that does the, he hated that one. We had to take this one off because it scared him so bad. But he did like this flower. Oh, I gotta, there it goes. He liked this flower because he would pull it and then chew on it and then let it go. So it does have his teeth marks on it, but he loved this thing. So we're very happy that she's gonna get to have this to play with. He also, after a while, hated anything being stacked, which used to make us giggle. So we're hoping that she gets a kick out of this thing as much as he did. So I am super happy with that. Put that over there. And then we'll take all these pieces, put them on there for now. We'll put batteries in there. Is it off right now? Yeah, it's off. But yeah, so I figured I'd come on here while I got everything ready. But I told Sarah while he was laying down, she needed to go lay down too. So that's all finished and ready. Oh, by the way, we moved like all of my Harry Potter stuff into my room. So I've got all my like potions, bottles, and everything down at the bottom. I moved my desk into here. My bed, of course, is right here. And then we have all of my, let's see here, where's the thing at? Oop. All of my Harry Potter stuff here. So we have all of that done. We've got stuff up on the walls, stuff up on the walls. So, but the humming, if I don't even know if this is picking it up, but there is humming and it's in the bathroom because I have the incubator all set up and ready to go. It is warm. yeah, I mean, Carlisle's going to be 4.5 years time. So it's crazy to think, like, where did the time go? Like, Sarah and I were looking at pictures earlier of him and just reminiscing and giggling about the fact that he was way chunkier than we realized. Like, back then, the doctor was concerned about how he was, because he was long and thin. And he was born that way. He was really long. He was 22 inches long, and he was only 6 pounds. So he was long and skinny. And he just stayed on that trend, and he's still on that trend. He's just tall and skinny. I mean, he's 40 inches tall. He's 3. He's 40 inches tall. He is 8 inches off of being 4 foot. And he's only 3. So, yeah, he's well over 3 feet tall. And he is very skinny. Like I said, he's like 29 pounds. So he's tall and skinny. But we look back at pictures of him and we're like, he was actually chunkier than we thought. That's crazy. So we were looking at stuff and we are like, he is a little chunker in those pictures. He had chunky cheeks. He had little rolls on his arms, but he just didn't look that way in like when you were day to day with him. It's like when you look back, you're just like, oh, wow, now I see it. He was totally fine. Like, even my aunt had seen him and she was like, he looks healthy to me. I don't know what the doctor's talking about. And I was like, also, babies have their own charts. Each baby has their own chart. They get their chart started the day they're born. The doctor looks at their length, their height, or their length and their weight, and their like head size and their chest size. They measure those things. And then your baby is tracked on that chart in comparison to, 100 babies born at the same time. And they track that on 100, like if it's a boy, they track 100 boys. And out of 100 babies, where they fall within that. So he could be, 100 percentile, meaning the same as all babies at that. Hey, Sam. Or, like 10, 20, whatever. They run them in a percentile. So, like, if they're like for Carlisle, he was 22 inches. So he was in like the 90th percentile in length. So like 90% of babies, he was, at that. And then if you look at his weight, he was like, I think he was like down in like the 10th or 15th percentile for weight because he was so tiny that he was only in like the 10th percentile of babies weighing that much at, at that birth, like that birth age. So like weeks gestation or whatever. So they track that so that as long as they continue to grow and stay on their own chart, right? So they stay on their own little curve. If they start off here and they drop off and they're no longer keeping an upward trend, then you get concerned. He never dropped off the chart. So he always just stayed steady. Oh my gosh, right. Well, here we didn't. Well, where we're at now, because we don't live where we used to live. So where we're at now, the weather has been beautiful. We moved, like if you guys have watched the shorts that I did, we moved like the chicken coop over, the chicken run, not the coop. We moved the chickens from the outdoor styled coop into the RV. And we converted the RV into a storage center for their food and all that kind of stuff on one side where the kitchen and stuff is. We have the food and the, like some of our stuff from the inside of the house that we don't need in here is out there. And then the back room, we converted it into the chicken coop. So the chickens and the turkeys and the guinea fowl have a safe space to be at night. After we had all of our roosters killed by coyotes. We had a bobcat get in the yard, which those guys are always out here. But we had one get in the yard and it tried really hard to get into our chicken coop, but our turkey, the one turkey did not go inside through the one little locking door. And it stuck its head out through one of the openings, like the area that the bobcat was digging, and it snatched the turkey. So we lost a turkey. We thought we lost 2 birds, 2 chickens, because we saw 2 red chickens out there, like the feathers, and then the bodies were left behind. And I was like, I went in and I was counting. I was like, we lost 2. I didn't count my birds. I was just like, we lost 2. But then I went outside later on and I was like, all my birds are here. I have all 27 of my birds. So whose birds were those? They weren't my birds. I went to the rooster pen and the roosters were fine. And I was like, what the heck? So the next night I made sure I went out there and made sure everybody was locked in like they were supposed to be. And it came back. You can't just kill the bobcats out here. You can't just take care of them. You have to have documentation and show the steps you took to take care of the issue without, harming them first. Now, if you catch them in the act of, then you can immediately dispatch, but not if you can take other measures to rid them off your property. And so I, fired a round off and scared it, and it took off. And it didn't come back after that. I'm thinking that was just because of that moment. But then less than a week, it was like less than a week. It was like 5 days or so. We ended up with a pack of 8 coyotes that were on the property itself, and then you could hear the rest out. I'm guessing from what we could hear, we had at least a 15 count pack that was out there. The 8 that were in the yard themselves ripped apart the chicken run and the outer meshing stuff that we had around the chicken coop. Now the chicken coop is reinforced with 16 gauge hardwire steel mesh. So they couldn't get through that. They tried, but the whole coop is wrapped in it. I mean, the ground and everything. There's no opening anywhere. Like they couldn't, even if they could have dug a hole to China and they still wouldn't have gotten in from the floorboard because the whole thing was closed in with 16 gauge hardwire cloth. So they couldn't get into that. But they tried, they sure tried, but they did end up the rooster pen, we had it all the way around, but we hadn't finished the flooring. But we were also going to be freezer camping those guys. So we weren't in a rush to get that done because that wasn't going to be that way for a very long time. Mistake on our part. We should have closed in the bottom. So they were able to break through the one side, got in. And once they got in, they took care of all 11 roosters, which was devastating. I'll tell you that. We did dispatch one of the coyotes, which is how we got the rest of them off the property. And we took that and we laid it out over at the other side of the yard. That usually can deter coyotes for quite some time. But we will be burying that here very soon because it's going to not smell the best here in a very short amount of time. But yeah, so that was terrifying. So Jay came down and we, the day that it all happened, I grabbed all the chickens. I went out there, and immediately got the RV back room set up, and I took the rooster enclosure and I dragged it across the yard because it was just that piece, and then I reinforced it and fixed parts that were damaged, and I took it over and I moved all the chickens that same day. And then Jay came out and helped me detach from the pin that's out there, the coop that's out there. We took the entire run off of it and we took the run across the yard. The good part is the chickens have the whole area during the day, and then at night they go into the coop, the RV, and we lock it. So they are locked in at night. There's no more, they don't have an auto door no more, any of that, so nobody accidentally gets left out. We go out every night, every single night, and the turkey never goes in. So I have to go out there. We have 2 turkeys. The female goes in every night, no problem. The male turkey refuses to go in at night. I have to literally pick him up and stick him in there every single night. He just will not go in by himself. And several of the guinea fowl. The guinea fowls, or I should say guinea hens, because it is the females, refuse to go in. They will sit on the edge of the entrance, but they won't go in. So I have to shove them all in once the sun goes down because they can't see anything in the dark. So I just walk out there and just push them all in and then grab the turkey and shove him in there. And then shut the door and then lock it because I have a key that locks it. So they go in once I physically put them in, but the chickens and the female turkey and the male guinea fowl go in without a problem. So he came down, yeah, Jay came down, and we ended up moving the entire run all the way over to the other side of the RV. And then we grabbed the big water, like the 270-gallon water container, which thank goodness had been emptied over the last few days, like the few days prior to us moving it, we had emptied it. And so we dragged that thing all the way across the yard. Like when I moved it by myself, we used the car to push it across the yard. But when he was here, we just grabbed a hold of it, tipped it sideways, and dragged it across the yard with both of our manpower. Not to say it was an easy in any way, but we pulled it, and he was like, I don't know how you move this stuff around by yourself. I was like, it's just, I just do. Not an easy task. It was definitely put to work. The 18th of this month on Thursday, so this coming Thursday, I have an appointment with ortho. Both of my knees have completely decided that they don't want to work. So my one that I hyperextended like 7 weeks ago, we need to get definitely looked at. It just keeps having these big, massive bruises, and it's swelling really bad. And then my other one, just underneath my knee, like, I don't know what you want to call it, but like right under my knee, just right under the bottom part of my knee, keeps getting this pocket of fluid in the front of my knee. And so I think it's just because I'm relying more heavily on that side. So I'm messing it up. So we need to get this situation fixed so that I don't end up being to where I can't get out and about. That would drive me nuts. Let me tell you what, I'm always out and about, and everybody knows that. They always see me in my yard. I'm always working in the yard. A lot of times I'll have Carlisle on my back in the carrier, and he loves getting out there, loves doing stuff with his Gigi. And I just want to make sure that I don't put myself in a position where I'm going to have to be reliant on somebody else, or that I'd have to say goodbye to any of my birds and stuff because I'm not able to get out there and do proper care. But yeah, so we've run into a couple of fun things, by the way, this past couple of weeks. So I have learned that both my dogs are absolute dum-dums. They just clearly share like one brain cell between the two of them, because a baby rattlesnake, a young rattlesnake, I shouldn't even say a baby, a young rattlesnake, because it had rattles, so at least several stages. So I'm guessing at least a bit older of a rattler, but small in size. So probably about 3 feet long. So not a very big rattler. Got into their dog run and was inside of the small doghouse, so the Godric sized doghouse, and was sitting in there. We didn't know it was in there at first. We came out the door because the dogs were going bonkers. And I was like, what are they barking at? And I go out and I can hear it. At first, the first thought when I heard the sound, I thought it was a busted pipe. I was like, this cannot be happening. We just fixed this thing. We just had all new plumbing done on the water tank and pump system. So I thought maybe one of those things had busted. And then I was like, it's not coming from that side. So I stopped and I'm listening. And they're both like staring, but not at the doghouse. They're staring towards the little desert area. And I'm like, what are they looking at? So I'm like shining the flashlight over there. I've got the big porch beam light on. And I'm like, what are they looking at? And I go out there, I can still hear it, and it is loud. And I come down the stairs very, very carefully. I'm searching everything. And I can hear it, and it's bouncing off the house wall. And I'm like, okay, so it's clearly within this bracket of space. So I get down, I'm like so slow because I didn't know where it was, but I know at this point that it's a rattlesnake. I can clearly this is a rattlesnake. I'm looking for a snake. And we live in the desert, so they match the ground. And I'm just like, where is it? I need to be able to see it. So I'm like, the big, huge, heavy beamed light. And I'm looking, and had it not pulled its head up, because it was coiled, had it not like stuck its head like this, I would not have seen it. I pan over and it picks its head up, and I come back because I see it move, and I come back with the flashlight, and it's inside the back corner of the little small doghouse. Now, Toby is so big, his head doesn't even fit through the door of the doghouse, but he wants that thing once he realized where it was. And I'm trying to get him to come out of the dog run. And like I said, he's a 130-pound dog. And then you've got Godric, who's like 15, 16 pounds. And so Godric, as soon as I opened that door, Godric beelined for the inside of the house, was like, I'm out. And I had already set up their big dog kennel. So Godric went in, the easy peasy. And then I'm trying to fight with Toby to get Toby in the house, but he wants the rattlesnake. And I'm like, we're not playing with that right now. Like, just honestly, that's not what we're doing right now. So I get a hold of him finally. Now, I'm right at match for match weight-wise with him. So I'm trying to hold on to this dog, and he wants the snake, and I'm trying to pull him the other way. I finally get him past the gate door and like shove him towards the stairs, and he goes towards, he literally, as soon as he saw the stairs, he ran for the opening of the house. And I pull the gate shut to the dog run, and I'm like, you know what? You can stay right there, because I'm not going in there messing with like a young rattler. If it had gotten one of the dogs or even myself, they're not all that great at controlling their venom release. And so I was like, yeah, I'm not dealing with that. I'm going to let it be. And if it takes off, cool. Whatever, go do your thing. So the next morning, I'm like, I need to make sure I check everywhere. I gotta check, under the porch area. I need to make sure I'm checking the whole area of the dog run, move the dog houses, make sure it's not somewhere within their dog run before I let them back outside. So I went out there with this long, like, stick thing that we have that has like a brush thing at the end, but it's like we handmade it. And I took that and I went and I did underneath the entire like porch area, so our big decking area, smacked the whole like area underneath, because these things match the ground, so you have to be super careful. And didn't hear any rattling, because if you startle it or whatnot, it's going to rattle. They're going to rattle. And so I'm smacking around under there. I go inside the doghouse with the big, long, heavy, like wood stick thing, and I stay at a full distance and I slide the doghouse across the thing, slide Godric's doghouse. No snake, not inside the doghouse, not outside the doghouse. It definitely had taken off. You can see the area on the ground where it had kind of moved itself away. And then I took the big stick thing and went over by the water pump and stuff, because I have to make sure I check the pumping during the day. So I can't have a snake just sitting over there. So I went over there, checked that whole area, and then we did like a stuff that we sprayed down that they don't really like, so they stay away from it. So I sprayed that whole area down just to make sure it doesn't come in there and decide to kind of hunker down in my pump house. And then I checked around the entire space, and there wasn't anywhere. It wasn't there. So I was like, good, it's gone. Let the dogs out. Totally cool. The next day, I go out and I'm in the chicken run, and the guinea fowl are acting a hot mess. They are freaking out. They're jumping everywhere. I'm like, what is happening over here? So I go into the run, and I'm walking through the run. I don't see anything at first, but I'm like peeled, and I'm looking, and I get to the area where the two runs are bedded together, and there's like the two rods down at the bottom, and in between those two rods, I see something that, at first I thought it was maybe one of their feathers, and I'm like, nope, that's moving. And so I poke the little thing underneath, and out comes a California king snake. It's a young one, very small. And I was like, okay, well, those are not a problem. They eat rattlesnakes. They kill rattlesnakes and they eat rattlesnakes. So I'm not gonna mess with this thing. Now, they do eat small birds, but all my chickens are too big for it to eat, so it's not interested in the chickens. It would have been interested in the eggs, but it's not interested in the chickens. So I was like, I'm not going to bother it. As soon as it saw me, it was like, peace out. And it went skirting away underneath the RV. The guinea fowl are still wigging out. And I was like, okay, well, at least now I know what they were freaking out about. But I keep seeing it here and there. I see it over on the side of the house every now and again, but I'm like, cool, you stay in the yard. You're by all means. But yeah, so we now have a king snake on the property. I'm not going to bother it. But anywho, I'm all done with this stuff, and Taylor's trying to get a hold of me, so I'm going to get off here, and I'll talk to you guys later. Yeah, we'll let you know when baby girl arrives, and we'll be able to tell you guys like what her name is and stuff once she's here. So we'll talk to you guys later.